Alright, hey guys, I'm Geoffrey Hill here. I'm the guitar player for the Randy Rogers Band, and I was just going to take a second and show you my rig. So, over here, I have my Fender Deluxe. It's just pretty much your standard Fender Deluxe. I've had the wonderful and awesome Jesse Duke work on it a little bit. It's called the Dookie Tone now. You can see it's been Dookie toned. Pretty sweet. And then I run that just in stereo with my Sewell, Doug Sewell. He's an amp builder out of Dallas. I think all the PRS amps now are his. That's like his baby, if I remember correctly. And I just turn them up as loud as they can go and make them rock. Pretty much for me, whenever I have my amps done by Jesse Duke, what happens is I catch them on fire and I bring him a burnt out shell of an amplifier, and he makes them not on fire anymore and they work again. And that's pretty much what the Dookie Tone means to me. And they also always just sound way better after he's done with them. I can't really tell you what he does as far as wiring it up and all the technical stuff. I'm not much of a gearhead. So I plug these guys in together. I run them stereo pretty much because I like to feel like the hair on the back of my legs move. I like to feel some real volume. So I don't know, running two amps together just feels to me a lot better. I feel like it really feels on the stage. I don't know if the people in the front rows appreciate that or not. And a lot of the times our sound guy Marty will be like, hey Jeff, you get one amp today and we're going to point it backwards. And those are not my favorite shows, but that happens a lot. So I try my best to get, if I can, I get to run both these amps together. And that's my ultimate, like that's what I'm shooting for right there. What I mainly try to do is about 85% of the time that I'm playing guitar is just straight through the amps, and that's all. When I finally do step on something, this is like an early 80s Ibanez analog delay, and this is my Super Tremolo, and I run these together and it kind of does that weird spacey chopping up every once in a while kind of thing. I don't know, it's a really cool, just kind of spacey kind of noise. So usually if I run the delay, I'm going to run the tremolo along with it. And if I'm not running both of them together, I'm usually just running straight through the amps. And let's see, that brings us to this little guy right here. Y'all probably recognize him. That's your classic Phase 90 phase shifter. That's that classic Waylon Jennings stomp kind of sound that you get. I use that on like a couple of songs. So Johnny Chops, our bass player, he tends to write kind of these Waylon Jennings kind of sounding songs, and I use that on maybe 3 of them. But yeah, I don't use it very often either. Same with the wah-wah. That's your, Jimi Hendrix style crybaby wah-wah, and I mash on that a few times on Fuzzy and on the guitar solo for This Time Around. And then other than that, I just have my Ibanez Tube Screamer, which is every time I play a guitar solo, I stomp on that thing. So I try to keep it real simple. I try to keep it where I'm just playing through the amps, and guitar solo gets the Ibanez Tube Screamer, and there's a couple little spacey things and a couple of country things that I change it up for. And then, you gotta have a volume pedal. I thought at some point that I would learn how to make my guitar sound like a steel guitar, but that never happened. So now I just leave it a full volume all the time. I got this here. This is my favorite guitar. It's a Mexican Jazz Master, and it's got these P90s in it, and they buzz pretty bad. We call that having first world problems, and when that happens I have to go pick up my Les Paul over there. But when this one's working, this is my favorite. And so yeah, volume, tone, I usually, it's a really bright kind of shiny kind of guitar, so I keep the volume all the way up and the tone down about halfway on the bridge pickup there. I don't even know what these things do. I think they do it must be something jazzy. These are for your jazz chords here, but I don't know, I just don't touch that. I would recommend putting this down and these all the way up and just don't ever touch them again. And it's got this really cool, you hear that? Oh, it whammies like crazy. It's good. You can drop the strings almost all the way off the neck. I usually stick Diodario strings on this guy, and I use 11s. My strings go to 11, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's my favorite. and I use it as much as I can, and whenever it is acting up and being buzzy, I go to my second favorite guitar, which is the Slash Special. It's my Les Paul. Well, let's take that guy off there, that's kind of ugly. I don't want people to know I use a capo. It's cheating, right? Only cheaters use capos. No, I'm just kidding, I use capo on like every other song. Anyhow, it's a, what is it, a Les Paul? I think I said it was a custom. This is a Les Paul standard. And if you have a pair, you can drill some holes in the bottom of your guitar here, and you can add a Bigsby. And it just rests across the front there. And so, notoriously, Les Pauls like to go out of tune on a D chord. It's hard to make just a normal D chord that doesn't sound a little bit out of tune. So I found if you go like this, your D chord is always in tune. You just gotta wiggle it a little. So yeah, I keep this one down, bridge pickup, everything all the way up all the time. And there you have it, the Slash Special. So here's the last thing I'll show you is a lot of guitar players complain about having to wear in-ear monitors because they say it distorts like the tone of your guitar and you don't get a true representation of what you're working with. But I found that my sound guy would hate me for saying this out loud. If you just wear one, take one out, it sounds awesome. And it's probably really bad for you, and I'll probably have one deaf ear and one ear that works really well in my old age. But so far so good. I haven't had any problems yet. So these are, what are they? West Tone. I think they're out of Waco. I'd say don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure I just quoted myself on that. Alright guys, thanks for checking out my gear, and make sure to come see Randy Rogers Band on tour, and I hope you enjoyed it.